Shalom. Kol halal Yahweh Bashem Abishai Bahashem Rakakbadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen, that be like unto the speckled bird. To the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother MALCHAAMAH from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson. And, let's grab my Apocrypha. Salakia. Didn't realize that I didn't have it. But let's start with the Second Ezra's, the 9th chapter, I believe. Yes, this is Second Ezra's 9 and verse 1. And it reads, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when thou hast seen earthquakes, uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right, because the end was declared in the beginning, and all the signs that we were told to look for that Christianity ignores, that people like No Class Malone, Dr. James White the Edomite, Joel Osteen, T.D. Jakes, Creep Low on Your Dollar, these guys ignore. As a matter of fact, I saw a video clip or image of Creep Low Dollar, and the title said, if the Lord is cursing America, he needs to apologize. This just goes to show you the wickedness of Jake and how they love Babylon. And they love filthy lucre more than they love the Lord, man. When the riches that are promised to us in the kingdom of heaven, which is shortly to come, will far surpass anything and everything that Donald Trump or any Edomite that like him has done. And for the record, I love it when they wear white, because it goes to show you that they're not white. Their skin is not white. They labeled themselves that in 1681. By the way, if you didn't know. But what Donald Trump did was fulfill prophecy. You know, and a house divided cannot stand, and that is what you're witnessing. And with the UK abandoning America, they even said that they were embarrassed. You know? Let's see. Matter of fact, let me see if I can scroll down. The UK threatens to tear up its defense alliance with the US after Trump's Iran crisis triggers a rupture between the two countries. UK Defense Secretary Ben Wallace says that the UK is looking to forge stronger alliances with other international partners which share its priorities. He says the US risks withdrawing from its leadership of the world under Trump. Wallace also reveals Trump threatened to tear up its intelligence sharing relation with the UK, which is just going to help bring on the end, because it clearly says in the scriptures that the nations hated the whore, man. They shall hate the whore. All right, and all the nations are going to come against America. This is Jeremiah 50 and 12, and it says, Your mother shall be sore confounded, she that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness and a dry land and a desert. All right? And why? Because the wrath of the Lord is going to come down on all these people, man. But the nations of the world are going to get together and strike against America. It's written. The arrows will fly from one end of the earth to the other, man. All right? Verse 13. Because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. So this place is going to be left with nothing. The Lord is going to completely annihilate Babylon off the face of the earth, man. And Babylon, Rome, it's all the fourth beast. All right? Let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 7, and let's start at verse 8. And it reads, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, it was a horn in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and the mouth speaking great things. And that was America, man. Because when they first came over here, the Edom came over here, the Britons came, the Spanish came, and the French came. And there were all these different wars. Britain ended up winning, and then its own people rose up out of them, and America was born out of Britain. Hence the connection that they've had for all these years. And we've been telling you for you know, going on 12 years for me now, and the apostles for double and triple that amount. All right, and these things are happening, man. All right. The Lord is going to return. Matter of fact, I'm just going to keep reading. This is in verse 9. And I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and hair like the pure wool. With his throne was like a fiery flame, and his wheels as a burning fire. So he had hair like wool. What people have woolly hair? So-called Negroes. Remember in the beginning, he said, let us make man in our image. That's what the power said. And the powers were made in the image of the Father. Yahweh Shai said, if you've seen me, you've seen my Father. Verse 10. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands and thousands ministered unto him, and tens of thousands times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. And I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake, I beheld till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. The beast, which is America and NATO, is going to be completely annihilated by Yahweh Shai and the angels. All right? Because in the midst of that war, when America is destroyed, the Lord is going to show up. All right, and then the nations of the world are going to stop fighting. They're going to start all try to join together and fight against the Lord, man. That's what they're going to do, and then the Lord's going to destroy them all. You can read that in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. He's going to destroy all their armies, and everyone is left is going into subjugation under the Israelites, under the new government, the new heaven. He said, I saw a new heaven coming down, a new rulership. All right, well, the Bible is actually going to be the rule of law. Verse 12. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. Right, because Eger has to go into slavery. Okay, and all the other nations have to. Why? For the controversy of Zion. See, for all the things that they've done to the Israelites. And then Amalek and the rest of Edom for claiming to be the Israelites. Verse 13. And I saw in the night vision, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with clouds of heaven. The clouds was what he called the chariots. Psalms 104. All right. He said he left on a cloud. He's going to return on a cloud. Clouds that glow with light and with power, and they can burn like they can shoot out fire, disappear and reappear, move faster than the speed of light, the speed of sound. All right. And I saw the night vision, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven. It said clouds, plural. And came to the Ancient of Days and brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory in the kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion and his everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, in his kingdom that shall not be destroyed. As a matter of fact, let's get a precept to substantiate that, which is Psalms 2 and 8. And it reads, ask of me and I shall give thee the heathen. That means all the other billions of people. Ask of me and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possessions. That's what's going to happen. Yahushua is going to get dominion. He's going to set up King David, the rest of the 12 and the Israelites, the 144,000. All right, 12,000 from each tribe as the new government over the whole universe, over earth and everywhere, forever and ever and ever. And that's it. And it's and so many millenniums are gonna go by, and you're never gonna see another red, pale defect like you're looking at on the screen. That look is gonna leave the earth forever. And the earth will go back to the way it was before they showed up, before Cain and Esau came here and brought that madness. All right. What I want to. I'm going to read verse 19 and 20. And then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all others, exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails were brass, which devoured and brake the pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. All right, and that's talking about Rome, because the four great kingdoms because there were many kingdoms, but there was four that stand out: Babylon, the Persian, Medes, Greece, and Rome. All right, and the last two, Greece was born Rome was born out of Greece, the same as America was born out of Britain, and they're the same people. All right. And history has proved that Rome was Edom. Rome. The Edomites. All right. Then the 10 horns that were in his head, and NATO was started with 10 nations. You can't get around this, man. And the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up before them, whom 3 fell, even of that horn had the eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. He was proud, man. He is proud. And I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given unto the saints of the Most High, and that the time of the saints possessed the kingdom. Because there was a time when the beast was brought down, and Jake ruled for 1,000 years. He ruled all of Europe. And E tried to cover that up, and now that's out. They still fight it with tooth and nail, but it's really useless because the evidence is overwhelming. But you have to understand, they own the media. But eventually they're going to be forced to just admit everything. And I long for that day, and I pray that the Lord allows me to live to see that. To see them all hang their head in shame like him. To bow their heads in shame because they have been found out and discovered. All right, that they are not these wholesome people that they've been pretending to be all these years, all this time. They've been the devil all along, man. All right, and they're falling apart. Matter of fact, let's shoot over to Daniel 2, I believe, in 41. I'm going to read 39, but the point is in 41. I'm going to start at 39. And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over the earth, and the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, because that rule that was talking about Greece, and out of Greece came Rome, all right? And out of Rome, through the Renaissance, America was the rebirth of Rome. And then they worshiped the gods of all the ancient places of Greece and Babylon. So it's all that wrapped up in one, man. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdue all things, as iron breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet of the toes, part of the part is clay, and part of iron. And the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. All right, and that's what happened, because miry clay doesn't mix well with the metal, with iron, and so now it's starting to pull apart. All right. Matter of fact, let me just keep reading. And as the toes of the feet were part iron and part clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And that's what happened with the EU and and NATO. They're all angry and mad because America's like a rabid dog, man. You know, like that one. Hey, you remember that movie, The Warriors? All right. The character Ajax. Ajax was a hothead, wanted to fight all the time. All right, ended up going to jail. He was one of the guys who didn't make it back. You know, or you had that wild friend. You know, this unpredictable, constantly getting the whole crew into fights. You know, eventually, man, that guy, you know, get you guys shot up or something because he's too much of a hothead, man. All right, that's America, and the other nations don't want to deal with him no more because they can't take him anywhere. Every time they take this guy right here to the bar, he getting drunk and touching on women and getting them in trouble and starting fights. You know, they getting in cars, their windows knocked out, getting beat up because this guy wants to go and, you know, start stuff with people. And these other nations, they have business and dealings going on with these other nations that America keeps slapping sanctions on and bombing and that whole sort of thing. And they're tired of it, man. All right. But let me read that again, verse 42. And it says, and the toes of the feet were part iron and part clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. So all those other men, all those other nations don't want to deal or mingle with Esau, and they're done. And they're done with America, man. This place is finished. It's just a matter of time. And this war is this thing is gonna keep spiraling out of control. There eventually will be a draft. There's going to be war. All right. And when the fighting starts, it will probably will speed up the crash of the dollar, which will usher in the forced implementation of the microchip, which is basically the last prophecy we're waiting for, because World War III has started. All right, but it's not going to go full blown until that chip is implemented, and the crash of the markets and the dollar could bring it on, and we're dangerously close to all of that. Call halal Yahweh B'Shem Shai B'Shem Rakakwadash Wa Abba Babal Shalom.